Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'm going to be starting what's hopefully going to be a nice goofy little devlog series working on a new game that I'm making called the Tower of Trials. The idea of it's pretty simple. You're going to start as a super weak little goober, then you'll have to get stronger by climbing a cool tower. Except instead of being like a normal tower full of like enemies, each floor is basically going to be its own world. Well, anyway, to get started, the first thing I did was boot up Godot and make a new project. I decided to use Godot for this instead of Unity, just because I find Godot a lot easier to use, especially for 2D games. After setting up some basic stuff for the game, I copied over a player character that I made for another older test project and threw it into the game. After fiddling with it for a little bit, I added in a dagger sprite to the character and started to work on programming it. I'll skip through most of the programming stuff for now, but if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to include more about it in the later videos in this series. Programming the dagger took a little longer than I was hoping for, just because I wanted to make it have a cool little thrust animation. After I was done setting up the basic stuff for the dagger, I started to work on the skeleton, which was going to be the first enemy. I drew some basic sprites for it and added it to the game. For the skeleton's code, I reused some more stuff from that test project I mentioned earlier, and, well, it was a little goofy. I think I might have ADHD because for some reason, instead of going back and finishing the skeleton, I just went and added some stats to the player. They don't do anything right now and won't for a while, so I'll have to get back to them later. Then, yet again, instead of getting back to the skeleton, I added some cool trail effects to the dagger. I don't know why, but I guess I just thought it would look pretty cool, which it does, even though the dagger can't deal damage yet. And after that, I finally got back to actually working on the skeleton. I fixed it up a little so it wouldn't jump so high, and then also made it so it wouldn't collide with the player. Then I also started work on making the dagger actually able to do damage. I haven't added health yet, so I just made it so it pushes the skeleton back a little. Then after about an hour of getting that to work, I'm gonna be honest, I'm reading the script I wrote and I completely forgot this happens next. I started working on the trail again. I'm just gonna ignore that. I started working on some basic terrain using some tile maps. It basically just makes you make like backgrounds or terrain on a grid really easily in Godot. After that, I decided to move all the enemy AI to one script rather than keeping in the skeleton. That way, I won't have to like manually adjust every single enemy if I need to make some major changes to the AI. While doing that, I added health to the skeletons too, so they can actually take damage when they get attacked. And I threw in some simple damage numbers just to make it easier to test stuff without having to always look at the console. Also, ignore that text right there, you know, very professional. By the way, if you guys have any suggestions for the game, just let me know in the comments, you know, especially the goofy stuff. I will not shy away from putting goofy shit in this game. Anyway, the next thing I did was add a simple background using the tile maps again, just like I did for the terrain. With that done, I added a cool slash attack. It's basically just a slower, higher damage attack. The slash took a little bit longer to get working than I was hoping, because I decided to use math for the animation instead of just using a default animation node, because, you know, I'm a fucking nerd. Now that's done, it's time I introduce you to one of the biggest aspects of this game, which is going to be the skill system. I tried making this hotbar thing, but it looked like that, so I got rid of it and replaced it with another one. The new one's not that great, but I'll just worry about that later. Anyway, for now, I added a test skill that just does a basic attack. Later on, I'm going to give it some more abilities in order to test it a little more. I also made it so that the main weapon attacks have their cooldowns show in the hotbar. But being the super efficient game developer I am, I decided that the next thing I should do is add another visual element instead of adding something actually useful. So I added some bone particles whenever you attack the skeletons. Godot's particle system isn't great, so it was a little hard to get it working, but after a little bit of time setting it up, it now looks like this. There's still no sound, so it's a little awkward, because for some reason I thought particle more important than basic sound design. Anyway, going back to the skill system I mentioned before, there's going to be a lot of skills in this game, including some cool goofy ones, like, for example, my personal favorite, Magic Isn't Real, Idiot. And this one that's just a really shit attack for no reason. I got a lot more like these planned, but, you know, where it would be the fun if I showed you them so early. So, you know, I'm gonna hide them for at least this video. Since the game's gonna have more than just attacking skills, I made it so the test skill also gave me extra damage for a couple seconds. To do this, I set up a basic buff system. It's basically any skill or item that increases your stats would use this rather than like just changing your stats directly, just to make things easier. For this skill, I made it give you a 1.2 times damage boost for one hit. I also added a cooldown similar to what I have for the basic attacks. The only difference is that it'll also show how much longer skills can be active for, and then it'll show the cooldown afterward. So for this skill, this is the last one hit. If you hit an enemy, it'll instantly go into cooldown. If you don't, it'll last for 5 seconds. The last thing I've added was projectiles. I basically just made it so that any skill can shoot at a projectile or multiple if you set it up that way. They were surprisingly hard to get working and took a lot of math, but I think they ended up working pretty well. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for this devlog. I'm already working on part 2, and you can see a little sneak peek of that in the background right now. All the music that's been playing in the background of this video is stuff that I made for the game. So if you guys like it, there's going to be links in the description, and I'm going to also post that into a playlist on this channel. I've already finished a lot more songs, but I'm going to save those for later parts in the series. And one last thing. If you guys like this video and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps, especially because it's going to be the first real video on this new channel. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.